All set up.
All right, we're ready to go.
Week number 2. Still chilling. That's for sure.
So, I just want to start off by saying that this time I actually got a beaker.
Oh,
And I
man.
measured out beforehand.
Are you saying you pre-poured all of your ounces right now? That's what I'm looking at?
Yeah, and then that way I can pour them exactly into the cup. My ice is not going to be as clear today because I ran out of those.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And then I got my sniffer.
So I'm kind of screwed because I have my Siete Leguas, which we're drinking today, Blanco, right? I told you, I thought I finished it all. And I have about anywhere, is that
amount.
near 3-4 ounces?
I would say so. That's what I had. I got 4 ounces.
All right, so I think this is karma because it's like last week I drank so much that this time I have a bottle that's not going to allow me to drink a lot.
Which says a lot about your editing skills because you couldn't tell.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I couldn't let anybody listen to that unedited. It was crazy. It's kind of good to listen to yourself because I realized I use the word like an exclamation mark or a capital letter. So I'll start a sentence with like and I'll end it with like. Like, I started listening and like, that's how I sounded. So I had to cut all those out. I couldn't even cut them all out because sometimes they're merged into a word.
Well, your excuses in the age of social media, the likes are good. They just happen to be on the button now.
Man, I give myself too many likes. It's not good. I notice when I take the likes out of everything I say, it's empty filler. It doesn't really add anything. It's a mental placeholder.
That's all it is. Most of us are uncomfortable with the silence or the pause. I think that I've done pretty well with that.
I can tell you probably have more experience talking than I do.
I do. I mean, I do have to speak often in front of a group. And one of the things I make sure is to get rid of the and, or like.
That's 30 minutes of the last episode. Me going, like.
The good thing is you get to listen to it. You're like, okay, I got to fix that. It doesn't come naturally.
Well, I'm like in the movie business stuff that I work in, editing is a big part.
Yeah.
Like you have a movie and if you have to watch it for 3 hours, sometimes a movie's way too long and you could just edit it and make it like half as long and it's even better. Think about the audience. Put it that way.
Yeah.
The first one was fun. I think I just sent it to Luis right now so that he can check it out.
He enjoys it.
Yeah, so he can get in on this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure pretty soon people are going to start wondering if he's real or we just made him up.
I have an episode. He needs to join by a specific episode I have in mind, but I think next week.
Yeah, I feel like next week's the day.
But he's missing out on good stuff.
Another solid Siete Leguas. This one for sure is Arandas, right?
No. Oh, yeah, you know why I realized it wasn't Arandas? I knew it wasn't Arandas because it was almost... If Arandas had, tequila ocho, and it had this, that's too many. There's no way.
Yeah, too many good ones, right? That's like a monopoly on good tequila.
Yeah, you got to spread them out. Yeah, Totonilco. Yeah, it sounds like a beach town or something, but it's not. It's like...
Is it pronounced the way it's spelled or is it spelled differently?
It's how all Spanish words, man. You don't know you don't know the word, just sound it out. Totonilco. It's probably like an Indian word. It's pronounceable. I can say it. Doesn't have a hidden H or anything in there.
I just picked mine up today. I'm gonna be honest because I didn't want to be tempted. I knew I was gonna be here on the weekend, so I picked it up right after work, I should say. Picked it up at Total Wine, so it's readily available. For a while, it was tough to come by. Every once in a while, you can see it at Costco, and I think the retail MSRP is around $54.99. It's a decent price. But one of the benefits that we'll be doing is we'll drink a lot of tequilas, so people don't have to spend their money on the bad ones because we have to start with some good ones.
I want to just start with the good ones that I can afford,
and then it's downhill from here. Well, what would you rate the bottle on aesthetics? I know I didn't realize that was such a big part.
Oh, it is because sometimes I just buy bottles because how they look. Let me see this bottle. I like the little agaves embossed on the sides.
Yeah.
And it has a little grip so you can grip it in case you want to drink out of the bottle. I guess no, that's like the dirt. That's what that's supposed to be.
Yeah. A field, right? With the agave, the dirt.
But that's that's a baby field of agaves because they have not filled in or grown very much here. And then it also says established 1952. That's pretty old. It's like 70 years. Yeah, I mean, we could get started with the first
First tasting.
tasting. Yeah. Okay, so I have my bottle. I'm going to get fresh smell at it. You've had yours sitting in a beaker.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. I'm going to mute my mic so you don't get a full sniff soundtrack.
You're gonna go in, yeah? You're gonna go hard.
Okay,
I can hear you now.
I take a ton of sniffs, like super sniffs, not those little mild ones. And I smell vanilla. That's what I smell. You might want to mute yours and take a huge one, like to the level where you almost cough it up. But let me take one more. I'm gonna mute real quick. I got another smell for you. Ready? Mint.
I'm getting the vanilla, but not the mint. Maybe like a spearmint.
That's what I'm saying. And I took huge whiffs.
I saw that.
I couldn't do it before, but I'm able to mute my mic.
I transferred over to my sniffer. You know, that makes a difference. So going from a beaker, right, that's just kind of, the opening is wide open. Then you have this, what they call a sniffer cup. It's kind of like a pot belly that closes up.
You smell what I'm talking about? Vanilla and mint?
Yeah. It's almost like a spearmint, just a little bit more subtle. Because
No, not
a little
strong.
bit more subtle.
And you know what? I'm still smelling the bottle. Maybe you're right then. Like the narrow opening, I'm smelling all that through the neck of the bottle right now.
Yeah. And mine's been sitting in a beaker.
So it's been all aired out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Little nuances. That's the point of this journey, right? We can figure it out for others.
All right. So I'm going to pour my 1 ounce. I hope this is 3 ounces worth because I don't want to run out by the end of the show. Maybe I'll have to do a half ounce.
I got like a very subtle hint of like kind of peppery.
All right. Have you tasted it? Or just smelling?
No, just smelling it. Okay, so let me know when you're ready. Are we gonna do the para arriba,
Arriba,
abajo, para el centro,
centro, para adentro.
y para adentro? But it's just a sip.
That alcohol burn taste is not very high on this.
You're right. It's not very. It doesn't burn a lot. One of the techniques we learned is that you're supposed to kind of push it a little right in your mouth, and it's supposed to burn very little on your tongue, not your throat. It's supposed to be on the tongue, at the back of your tongue.
Man, it barely burns at all. Like for tequila, look. I have enough. I'm gonna get my other half ounce. This one had, to me, I could pinpoint more flavors when I smelled it.
Getting the vanilla mixed with something like vanilla transitioning into a kind of a piloncillo, right? Which is kind of like a dark sugar raw. So in Mexico, they have this bar of dark sugar, particularly the piloncillo has a bit of that vanilla-y. I think all tequilas can have some sort of sweetness, right? It's just levels of because of the agave.
How do these other smells get in there, though? What you think I'm tasting? Because I looked it up. This is non-additive.
I think they just, anything. I think we associate vanilla with sweetness. Like, I don't think they add like vanilla beans in there, right?
No, I don't think so. From what I've seen is, so flavors come. They always tell me in Mexico that it's like from the dirt, like that you need the red dirt that is in that area. And you were saying how what makes a tequila taste a certain way is the minerals, the natural things, right?
Yeah.
And I guess red dirt is pretty rich in minerals. You were also talking about like you associate like grass and those smells. I think a lot of that stuff's linked to the water, like the rainfall.
Makes sense. I'm not getting a lot of that for this one. I'm not thinking of grass for some reason.
Right? Yeah. I told you, like, it smelled good, and I'm not getting distinct flavors other than the beginning. You think the ice will help bring it out, or?
Yeah, let's open it up.
All right, let's try it out.
I think it's a good time to try.
And again, this is like currently one of my go-tos. Although Tequila Ocho, I'm gonna have to add it to my go-tos. I like having different tequilas that are very different. because people
Yeah.
think they all taste the same.
So the
Get your ice
question
ready?
is now. I got it ready. I'm right here again. I'm telling you, it's not as clear today just because I ran
Oh,
out
I
of
beat you
my
today in
nice.
clearness.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you got a pretty clear one this time around.
Yeah.
I think this was
Look at
like
that.
90%, 95% clear.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's
I'm
like
telling you,
just one
just
little corner.
I love these ice. I can't drink stuff without it. Like the
Oh
dispenser
man.
ice. I just can't.
Yeah.
It's like
No, that's too cloudy.
it ruins it.
It does. It's. I'm telling you, those minerals in the water.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's pour this first, and let's do some tasting, and then we can continue.
All right, let's try this. Ooh, it's even lighter. It's like that's dangerous because
It's not like it's been sitting in ice. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like you just pour it over this ice, and it instantly chills, and the ice hasn't really melted, but
No.
it changes the taste so much.
that is dangerous. It's that middle flavor.
It's like salty. That's why I taste in the middle. You get any saltiness? Because I'm used to margaritas with salt on the side, on the rim.
That's probably what you're thinking about. But it's good.
I mean, if you give this to anybody, how are they going to complain about this?
You can't.
So when I was trying to figure out why this tequila was so good to me a while ago, it turns out that the only tequila I would ever buy, and I thought I would buy Patron Silver because I liked it. It was super like smooth compared to other tequilas. And then right before I went to Mexico, I also bought Don Julio because I heard that one's really good. And then in Mexico, I had this, and I was like, oh, this is like way better. It turns out that when Patron first started, it was made by this distillery. So this distillery in Atotonilco, they made Patron for Patron the first couple of years before Patron got like acquired some other, I don't know if it's like a hair guy or something. Big like
Estilator.
people who are like not that you wouldn't think of when it comes to tequila or alcohol. But anyways, It was the same distillery. They also, that area, what's the other one I mentioned? Don Julio. I think it comes
Don
from the
Julio, yeah.
same town. Quick
Very
look up.
similar. John
think.
Paul and Martin Crowley.
John Paul, and does he make like hairsprays or something?
Yeah, Paul Mitchell. You're right.
Beauty products.
Yeah, Paul Mitchell Beauty Products. So, right. John Paul. He's the one who bought the Patron, and him and Martin Crowley. You know what?
Once the alcohol burns off with the ice, it just tastes like easy to drink. Like because agave they make tequila with it now, but way back, I've never had it. But pulque, have you heard of pulque?
Pulque, yeah.
That's made from agave too.
Yeah,
But it's
so much you can do with it.
It's more water. It's less alcohol. It's almost like beer. Pulque is like 5 or 6%. You know that other tequila I brought, that Trujillo Tahona? They make a beer that I wish I could get here, and they put agave in the beer, and it just gives it that sweetness. That beer is really good too. It's got an awesome label. It's like got a gold tooth on the skull, like on a Catherine.
I'm starting to get some like like a metallic, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way where it's like, oh, it's like iron, but
I get it. I'm getting it. The longer it's in the ice, like
sweet iron pepper.
This is the one I told my brother. Look, you don't drink straight tequila without mixing it. He loves making margaritas. He will buy a bunch of lemons. He makes really good ones. I told him, drink this with ice in distinct margarita.
Yeah. So it's so have you stopped kind of making a lot of the margaritas now that you've gone into?
I don't make any margaritas. It's just way better to taste the drink. Like even coffee, I started drinking black.
Yeah,
Taste of coffee.
That's what.
So
I recently made a cocktail, right? And I used 50% tequila, 50% mezcal, and then I use grapefruit, lemon, and tangerine. And man, I call it the ayunas. It's like a breakfast drink. Yeah, that's because you're pretty much drinking like juice with mezcal and tequila. So it's supposed to be like a.
Well, I can get where that works now. Okay, so this is what I predict is going to happen with me. Maybe that's where you're at already. That's a problem. I'm behind. So I'm gonna try all this tequila, only have it
Yeah.
straight, put it with ice, and then at some point when you understand it enough, you'll learn how to combine it with things that like work for it, that make it even better.
So I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't drink a lot of blanco tequila just on the rocks or by itself. I do that with the añejo or the reposado.
There's more flavor in those.
Yeah, and that's probably, I think to me that was the sequence. It's you start drinking the blancos and just kind of taste it, you know, and then you kind of graduate to reposado and añejo, and then you get to a point where you're really enjoying the añejos and the reposados as an aged tequila because of the flavors. To your point, it brings out the flavor. The you know, it's like anything. It's with time, you develop those flavor profiles a little bit better. And then the blanco, yeah, you every once in a while you go back to it.
I'm going in that order. It makes sense to start with blancos, because then you can understand. Okay, this is what it's supposed to taste like. If you start with the other stuff, I can see that being confusing. So then you build and you build and you build and you understand. Oh, okay, this is a blanco with like a flavor enhanced by the barreling that they do. Or so it makes more sense to start that way. And then I guess you, like you said, like once you have the other stuff, you're ready to start mixing up the blancos with other things, perhaps, right? Because they have less flavors brought into it by the aging.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting that. You're not masking it away.
No. And I think that's kind of the goal, right? Is you introduce a kind of new audience or a new fan to tequila, have them go through the journey of let's discover what it's supposed to taste like at its purest form or the blanco stage where it's not too aged. They can get an understanding of what the agave plant is supposed to taste like. And then obviously, to your point, you know, different regions have dirt, water, rainwater, minerals that add to the flavors. And then that's where you start, right? The whole goal is to stop getting people to stop drinking shots and then buying tequila that's no good, but because it's endorsed by somebody.
Yeah, I mean, no way. I mean, this thing is not endorsed by anybody I've seen. Tequila Ocho, I haven't seen anybody endorse it.
Now we started off
except
strong.
us.
I mean, I think. Oh yeah, we'll definitely endorse it.
Endorsed by us. Heck yeah.
Endorsed by Still
Approved.
Chillin'.
I mean, this is kind of the drink that got me into saying, "Hey, I can actually learn to taste tequilas and have them on their own." It was this one. It was Siete Leguas.
Oh, that's a big one. I mean, that's a big compliment to Siete Leguas, but deservedly so. They are they make a good tequila.
I think
for sure,
because it's easy to drink, man. I mean, and like you said, dangerously easy to drink. So,
but dangerous in the sense that you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna make a podcast for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, drink this when you're home, chilling, relaxing. Yeah. Like, it's perfect.
But you won't wake up with the hangover because it's additive free. So you don't have to worry about the sugars.
So I've had 2 drinks, and I'm lucky, I guess. Man, it didn't look like I had a lot left, but I definitely have enough. I'm starting to think, because I'm so used to drinking on ice, I'm gonna maybe this 3rd drink we have however you like.
I think so, because I think that's the part. I think you have it just straight, so you can kind of taste it just in its raw form. You open it up with the ice, and then you decide which of the 2 you like better. And
I think I've had it on ice so much that I gotta break out of my mold and go straight.
What if you were to add like a drop of water? Like not even, just kind of like you do with whiskey or bourbon. You sometimes just add a drop. You think
with
that
no
would
ice?
Mimic with no ice? Yeah, so that
I mean,
I
have my. Mimic? I could probably do that right now because my.
And it's kind of now the bottle you have with you now. Did you buy that here at the States?
Yeah, I did. That's why it's a little guy. Like I told you, I brought the big bottle from Mexico.
Yeah. Well, more importantly, if you look at the ABF, what does it say?
What is that? Alcohol by volume? 40.
Yeah. Do you have your bottle that's from Mexico still?
No, I do. I'm sure I gotta go downstairs.
So
gosh, I hope I didn't.
Time.
What did I do with it if I drank it? I'm sure I didn't.
Well, if it's the Mexican one, you'll see that it says 38%.
Really?
So yes. And so basically it's. So I was gonna ask, and again, I didn't want to throw a wrench in the system, but if you tried the Mexican version and you tried this one, if there was a difference in the flavor profile because there's more water in the Mexican, it has a lower ABF.
You know what? Let me double check. I have a photo of the bottles I brought. Oh man, and as far as when I brought them, it was kind of all right. So for anybody who ever goes to Mexico and they want to bring tequila bottles, you got to go prepared. Like you can't, you can bring 5 liters. So to me that because I bought these 750 ones, so that's how big it was. It was a liter. That's what it was. It was 1 liter.
Yeah.
I guess it's 750 milliliters. That's like 3/4. So anybody who goes to Mexico, take an extra luggage, potentially just because you're planning on bringing it back. Okay, hard shell, kind of like those Samsonites, and then you want to line it with clothes, like socks, stuff that you don't care if it breaks, because that's the problem, right? Like, you better hope it doesn't break. And we had 6 bottles in it was a check luggage, so they were in there tight. And what you don't want is glass against glass, so we had to wrap them in like a bunch of bubble wrap. And the necks are kind of thin, so we kind of stuffed socks around them. Yeah. And this luggage, we had 6 bottles in there next to each other, and pretty much they all made it. Nothing broke, which I was planning for something to break. So I'm like, oh, okay, here's the picture. Siete Leguas. And it's, dude, no. This one says 40 alcohol by volume.
Is it?
Yeah. I'll send it to you right now. And I did get this like in the Pueblo. It's not the airport. I saw some at the airport. Zoom in on that label.
This means that they're committed to the quality of that 40%, because most will drop it 38. So next time we're in town, we'll ask, and you'll see that most of the bottles are at 38%.
I'll check it out.
And in fact, and the reason I say it, because I had a conversation with the bartender in Mexico. I was telling him that how come you don't, the drinks are really good. And I don't know, like, Mexico City has some of the best bars in the world, not just Mexico, right? Like if you ever read like 50's best, like a lot of legit publications, you'll see Mexico City always has 1 or 2. And I was in one of them where it was like the top 5 in the world. And I think one of them was Condé Nast. I think that's what it's called. I believe it's a French word. But he was telling me that, the reason why the drinks are taste so delicious is because the alcohol content is lower, so you don't get that burn from the alcohol, right? And the flavors in the mixed drinks, but you get drunk. So that's how you know it's there, because you have 1 or 2 and you're like,
yeah, it's only 2% difference.
Yeah, but it makes a difference in the flavor.
Yes. Did you get your 3rd drink?
Yeah. I'm going to do it nice.
I'm going to do it straight. Here's the thing I realized too is we can throw in information, but it's like tequila. Like, I don't need the lime. I don't need this.
No one wants to know or cares until they're in their 3rd drink, and then they start talking about all the stuff they know about it, right? Then they become the experts. And I'm talking about you, me, and I'm talking about any guy out there who's probably ordering tequila and wants to impress a girl and orders it neat and starts talking about how you should drink it.
I mean, on my end, it comes from like, I only have so much money, so I want to make sure I buy the right stuff, because then I won't feel like I'm wasting my money. There's a lot of stuff to try though, so eventually you might catch up on me. Like, that you sent me a photo before the show, and you showed me you found Montelobos in LA, and I was like, the one I had was only like $48, so that's good. And then I saw the other variants of it, and they're like $90, $120. I'm not ready for that every week.
Not just yet, but maybe we'll get to a point where our conversations will intrigue many.
Okay, here's my plan. I'm going to set up our website. I'm going to put some cool stuff on there that people can buy that they like, some cool designs and stuff like that. And with those funds, so they get something out of it. They get some artwork. And we'll use those funds to help buy more of this stuff. Because you mentioned last episode that you think tequila's having a moment. And part of the reason, maybe I'm wrong, is I realized that when you sent me that picture, and the reason you stopped drinking your drink, the whiskey, the bourbon, what's it called? Blanton's?
Blanton's.
Oh, Blanton.
Yeah, Blanton.
Okay.
Apostrophe S.
I'm thinking part of the reason why, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. This is just one that I'm pinpointing because it applies to me. there's a lot of options that are not too expensive and they're good.
Yeah.
So, economy's rough. People don't have a lot of money to spend on a bunch of stuff that they used to spend. It's kind of what you were saying. You said that your bottle, it was hard to find. And did it actually go up in price or was it just hard to find?
Both. So when I first bought it, it was $25, $30. Now it retails for about $75, $80.
Yeah.
But the lowest you're going to find it is maybe $100, $125.
See, and that's way over my there's probably a lot of tequilas we can find for about $60.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good spirits around $45 to $65 range where you don't have to break the bank. And I think that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to go through a lot of these. So far, we've been lucky. We started very strong with two great tequilas that right now at this moment you could still find. You can walk into a Total Wine or Bevmo and pay retail for $45 to $55.
And be happy. It's almost like you got something on sale. You're like, oh, they had it. I got it home and I'm good. I mean, that's perfect. Yeah. It's not like you had to settle for it. You're happy to find it. Even Ocho, I gotta see what other variants are available.
Oh, there's a lot. So Ocho does. The thing I do like about Ocho is that they have a lot of collaborations with bourbon barrels. So the last one I just got was the Ocho Widow Jane barrel pick. So they basically aged it in the barrel that was used for the Widow Jane bourbon. So, funny thing, I'm not sure how much you know about bourbon in the U.S. or just in general. You can't reuse any of the barrels in the U.S.
Is that how they ship them to Mexico and then they use them over there?
They ship them to Mexico, they ship them to Europe, they ship them everywhere. So then they reuse them. And it says, barrel aged in Widow Jane's bourbon. So it's just crazy. It's just one of those things that the U.S. for the bourbon here, the whiskey, the rye, you cannot reuse. You have to use brand new barrels.
So that's like how tequila, there's reposado, añejo, and stuff like that. They need those barrels probably, right?
Yeah, because then they can
enhance it.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the, that's when you see a lot of barrel aged, right, or tequila aged in whiskey barrels. That's what they mean. That's all they're saying is, they bought a barrel from Blanton's and used it to age their tequila. And obviously that's going to add to the flavor profile because that wood has now been soaked in bourbon.
So what do you think about my theory about tequila being part of the popularity recently is that the price is not crazy?
Yes.
That makes sense, right? It kind of applies to other foods. Have you noticed the craze in recent years of avocado toast?
Oh, yeah.
It's not something that you eat when times are good. Toast and avocado is something avocado was a little bit pricier growing up, but that's like making tortillas with a hot dog in there. If you had avocado, you throw avocado taco. That's not a glamorous combination of food. Yeah. But it became this thing for some reason. I never had avocado toast.
No.
I know what toast tastes like, and I know what avocado tastes like. What's the mystery there?
I used to make fun of it too because to your point, we grew up on, we got avocado because you'd have it every meal and it's inexpensive. But I've had a really delicious avocado toast they're all at hipster spots, but they're delicious. I mean, if you get a good avocado toast, now the key thing is you have to have a nice thick. My favorite is some sort of French bread toast.
Okay, French bread toast. Okay, explain your recommended avocado toast, and then I'll tell you what I have in my brain when I hear avocado toast.
A nice crusty bread, usually French style, cut up thick, where it's crusty on the outside and soft on the inside, toasted. You spread the avocado, and then on top of it, my favorite is you add maybe a piece or two of bacon, a hard-boiled egg or over easy egg, maybe sprinkle a little bit of the everything bagel seeds, a little bit of Tabasco sauce, and man, it's unctuous, man. It's unctuous.
Okay, now this is what I would make. I wouldn't have any other recipe in my brain. Toast, whole grain toast, that Dave's grain. That's like the fanciest toast I buy. Bread.
Oh, that's healthy.
Dave's hard bread, or I don't know what it's called. Yeah. Killer bread. I'll get Dave's killer bread, Cuban bread it wouldn't work for this. That's the only other bread I eat because my wife is Cuban. I think I'd have to use Dave's Killer Bread wheat. I put avocado, salt, and tapatio.
Yeah.
That's my avocado toast.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a wrong way to do avocado toast, but they have gone all right. It's kind of like the michelada, or more importantly, the Bloody Mary, right? Where before it was you have your Bloody Mary, you have a celery stick, and that's it. But now you have these Bloody Marys that have shrimp, bacon, right? So it's kind of it went that route.
Even micheladas got kind of crazy.
I think that's just what happened. It was originally a piece of toast with avocado and maybe some sort of hot sauce, and they just started piling on everything else.
I almost swear I had that already. I'm sure I've had bread with avocado and hot sauce. Just out of necessity because you got nothing else. Like we don't have no ham, we got no turkey to put in the sandwich. Just put avocado, hot sauce, and salt. That's the sandwich. I predicted. I still have ice, so it's definitely not going the way the first episode went. We're gonna get down to the rating round.
Okay. I have my last half ounce ready because I think that's all I have left.
I'm gonna give myself my final ounce, and I actually had enough. Surprisingly,
there you go.
I'm gonna have a straight, and this one almost tastes better straight than on ice.
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
It's like anything, right? You have it a few times, and towards the end, it tastes better. The good news is we're not drunk, neither of us.
Mm-hmm. Start thinking ratings.
Yeah, I already have one.
I'll go first this time. You go first last time.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna give this an 8. The smell was great. If you want to give somebody like a good smelling drink, it was pretty perfect. The smell was good. The taste was good. I couldn't nail all the flavors down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. An 8. And to your point, I think that's a big one, right? Where it's smooth, it's mellow, the smell's good, and I thought I would have a bigger taste profile because of the smells. This tastes good and mellow, but I'm kind of reaching for flavors. I get the vanilla and I get the pepper.
I mean, that's the problem with this one. I got to keep drinking it because I have to figure it out.
I do think when we get to the round where we have all 3 of them in front of us, I think the flavor will jump out once you go from one to the other. I was like, oh, that's what it is.
We came up with an 8 and an
8. I think we agree on the fact that it's a good flavor, but to your point, it's someone who's beginning with tequila. You say, hey, try this because it's not too bold.
Yeah.
It's smooth, and you get it that you'll get the flavor, but it just won't overpower you.
And if they complain about this one, I'm like, okay, maybe tequila's not for you. I won't, if somebody gives me this, I'll be happy. Yeah. Just a note for anybody who's thinking they don't know what I ever want for like a gift. Siete Leguas for sure. What do you want to drink next week?
So I really wanted to drink La Gritona.
I have one question. Let me find out. I want to find out where it's made. La Gritona. Valle de Guadalupe, Jalisco.
That's Los Altos.
Well, it's not very far from Arandas, I'll tell you that much. And Atotonilco del Alto, Jalisco. Okay, yeah, that's a perfect one. The first 3, they should all be from very nearby. So these are all very nearby. We'll go with La Gritona.
That's the plan.
Thanks for still chilling, everybody who's listening in. We'll see you next week.
Deuces.